If there was an official list of Judaism's most obscure festivals, the little one coming up this Friday, the 8th of May, might just be there at the top. The festival is called Pesach Sheni, Second Pesach, or as I like to call it, Pesach Plan B, and it appears in the 9th chapter of the book of Bamidbar. The Jewish people were gathered, ready to celebrate Pesach on the second anniversary of the Exodus. Pretty exciting considering God was doing the catering and there wasn't that much Pesach cleaning to do. When all of a sudden, a group of people approached Moshe and Aharon. The Torah reports that these people were tameh, spiritually diminished, and therefore unable to celebrate Pesach together with the Jewish people. Rabbi Yitzchak explains in Talmud Tractate Sukkah that they'd been involved in burial, and the timing was such that they wouldn't be spiritually restored before Pesach, and thus unable to participate in the all-important offering. Nevertheless, this was the complaint that they offered. Lama nigara levilti hakriv et korban Hashem b'moado b'toch b'nei Yisrael. Fine, we are tameh, they said, but why should we miss out on bringing the Pesach offering at its time with the Jewish people? The Sefer HaChinuch explains that Pesach is such an important festival because it celebrates the Exodus, a time when Hashem performed many miracles for us, a consequence of which was that the Jewish people came to believe very strongly. Hu ha'amud ha'chazak be'emunatenu u'betoratenu, says the Sefer HaChinuch. It is a firm pillar of our faith and our Torah. And because Pesach is such a foundation of our faith, Pesach Sheni was necessary for those who, prevented by circumstances beyond their control from observing. There had to be a chance for those who missed out to have that all-important experience. But was this Plan B part of the original Plan A initially? Rashi notes that whilst in almost all other passages in the Torah where mitzvot are given, credit goes to Moshe for transmitting them, this passage was credited to the spiritually diminished people who approached Moshe. Shemegadlim zechut al yedei zakai. Since great deeds are brought about by great people, they are acknowledged and given their contribution. Interestingly, they're not the only people who gave voice to complaint and received credit for the promulgation of a mitzvah. 16 chapters later in the book of Numbers, the daughters of a man called Slofchad approach. They say, Lama yigara, noting that it's unfair that their deceased father missed out on heritage in the land of Israel simply because he had no male heirs. They too were successful and credited with the promulgation of a law entitling them to inherit property on their father's behalf. But there's something interesting in Rashi's commentary on that verse, which, in consideration and juxtaposition, appears conspicuously absent from Rashi's commentary on the spiritually diminished people that we discussed earlier. Rashi says, "V'nit alma ha'halacha mimeno," that when Moshe was approached by these women about the property inheritance law, he forgot what the halacha was. Rabbi Meir Goldvicht says that because Rashi says that Moshe forgot when it came to the inheritance law inquiry, but doesn't say that Rashi forgot when it came to the Pesach Plan B inquiry, that means that the Torah that Moshe brought down from Sinai did not contain the mitzvah of Pesach Sheni. For had there been a law to that effect, it would have mentioned that Rashi that he had forgotten them. What does this mean? When it comes to the clash of imperatives, Masechet Sukkah makes it very clear. Ha'osek b'mitzvah patur min ha'mitzvah. If you are consumed or preoccupied with one mitzvah, you can be exempt from another. The circumstantially, spiritually diminished men were not obligated to bring up the Korban Pesach. That should have been a no-brainer. But recall that less than 2 years prior, the Jewish people had stood at Sinai and declared, Na'aseh v'nishma. We will do, we will commit, we will act, and only then will we seek to understand. For that, the Torah likens them to angels. And the Talmud says in Masechet Shabbat that they received crowns. Crowns that through lack of faith, rebelliousness, and apathy, most of the nation had lost. But those people, those spiritually diminished people who approached Moshe and Aharon, they were different. They had the best excuse to save a sheep and have a quiet night in. But they were fundamentally opposed to the special consideration personality. For them, mitzvot are the reason for existence. How could they live knowing that they'd missed out on the opportunity to honor that? On a practical level, Pesach Sheni is not observable in our times. We lack the opportunity to bring up the Pesach offering, and if Plan A can't be observed, then therefore Plan B is unfeasible. But we still have this festival in our calendar, this reminder, this cry through the ages. I want to be connected. I want to be part of my community again. I want to observe the mitzvot I love. And this Jewish life is too precious to me to give up without a fight. This Friday is Pesach Sheni, an opportunity to take pause, to reconnect with the idea that mitzvot are our oxygen, they are our raison d'etre, they are a powerful source of meaning and growth. The message is Carpe, forte. Seize that opportunity and keep the mitzvot. Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu. Shabbat Shalom.